attended and documented TUHU's protest in March the other day as they spoke to increased enforcement as FIFA descends on our city. I later attended a vibrant and joyful FIFA event here, just outside City Hall at Nathan Phillips Square, as hundreds of people celebrated, danced, and lined up to see the trophy. The contrast between these two events made me think about what we are hoping for from FIFA versus what is actually happening on the ground. I don't want to deny sports fans their joy, local businesses their potential windfall, or residents an exciting diversion from the routine of everyday life. But I also want us to be honest about what's happening. For a moment, I'm going to zoom out and look at the big picture. I'm going to refer to this passage from Ken Greenberg and Anne Golden's new book, Saving Toronto, on how taxation works in our city and how that relates to global events like the Taylor Swift Tour, or, in this case, FIFA. What happens based on Toronto being a creature of the province and the way that our tax system is set up is we don't actually make a lot of money from these events. In fact, when it came to Taylor Swift, while it was expected that the revenue boost here was going to be $282 million, that was included for $40 million in tax revenues. The city's share of that tax was just $3 million, while the feds got $15 million and the province of Ontario earned $25 million. Of the 52 cities that Taylor Swift played, the City of Toronto received the lowest share of tax revenue from the event, period, and Toronto was the only municipal government that was likely to have lost revenue serving as a tour venue. So let's combine that with headlines about how hotels and entertainment venues are not seeing the surge one might expect from these events, and lagging ticket sales are also indicating prices that the average person has no ability to afford. Some people are taking the attitude of you need to break a few eggs, and again, these are human beings with rights, not eggs, break a few eggs to make an omelet. But the only people who are going to be gorging on this breakfast of rights violations, violence, and misery are Queen's Park, Parliament Hill, and private enterprise, with FIFA getting the biggest portion to Toronto's detriment. And what about us, residents of Toronto? I've been sober for 9 years and in the rooms for longer. For those impacted by this escalation, who are dealing with addictions or mental health issues, there is no research or anecdote that suggests injuring people, destroying their belongings, and or traumatizing them leads to improved outcomes for either recovery or fellowship. We are selling out our unhoused neighbors, setting them up for failure, harming them in lasting ways, and prolonging a crisis so others can profit. I want to close on acknowledging the power of TUHU's recent action. I've been shooting street photography in the city for 15 years. I've seen a lot. And after a certain amount of time, you settle into a sort of routine. So it was quite exhilarating to feel that routine disrupted with a protest that had so much power. The image that's on the screen right now is of a Union Station security guard reading TUHU's report. It is the kind of moment that is scary to shoot because as a photographer, you know you need to get it right. It's a shot that feels as profound, unsettling, and important as the moment that TUHU is meeting. I am grateful for the courage and organizing it took to produce this image. It's already among my favorites. In closing, I want to address the city and the public. Many of the issues at play here, including a security service that we do not have control over, are largely the responsibility of a provincial government that has seen homelessness increase drastically across the whole province, not just in Toronto. So considering that this is an everywhere crisis, that there is simply nowhere for many to go, we must act with grace, openness, and righteousness. After all, the average Toronto resident is far more likely to end up in precarious housing or unhoused than in the executive suite of FIFA's offices. This is about Toronto looking out for Toronto, us looking after us. Thank you.